Hello, my fire signs, and welcome to your weekly for April 22nd to April 26th. I know I'm doing it midway to midway, but when May starts, I'll start doing the full week from like a Monday to Sunday. But it was just the way that I started the weekly, so that's why it's coming up this way. So I'm going to do Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So I'll timestamp your description and you can click that time to fast forward to your sign if you don't feel like watching all the other ones. Or maybe you're first and you get lucky. Okay. So we're going to start with my Aries. This is a general reading, but if I do feel guided to read it in a love read, I will. So we're just going to have to see what comes out for my fire signs. So we're going to start with my Aries. So we're going to pick 3 cards. What are my themes for my Aries for this week? What are the themes for my Aries this week of April 22nd to April 26th? What do we have here for my Aries? What do we have here for my Aries? What do we have here for my Aries? Thank you, Spirit. Okay. Okay, Aries, our first card out is the heart chakra. Working on your heart chakra, feeling the feels. The second card out, we have sadness and isolation. Yes, we are feeling the feels. And then we have new vitality. So it seems as though we're feeling these feels for a very, very good reason, Aries. So the beginning of this week, you may feel as though your heart is like being ripped out of your chest in a way. You may feel like extreme pain in your heart. I'm going to try to fix this. Okay, better. But I do see that it all is for a bigger reason. So you're probably going to be a little bit in distress in the beginning of the week. Maybe you're clearing out your heart chakra from past hurts and all of that. Sometimes this can cause like emotional outbursts, like crying at everything, maybe. So I do see here that you're going through this heart isolation in a way inside because you are receiving a new message from Spirit. So sometimes in our distressed moments is when we can connect to Spirit a little bit better, because we are like, in some moments of us crying, or in some moments of feeling our heart and feeling that sadness, like our soul are on our knees for Spirit and we're begging them, and we don't feel like we are. But in this situation, Aries, I feel as though you have been really focused on something that has hurt your heart, and Spirit is going to come in this week and give you a new vitality, a new idea, a new message that will help you understand why you had to go through this. So let's see what else is coming out for my Aries for the week. What's going on for my Aries for the week? What's going on for my Aries? My Aries, we're going to do 3 other cards underneath that from my Rider White, and then we're going to do my Mystic Mondays underneath. So let's see, what is my Rider White messages for Aries for this week of April 22nd to April 26th for my Aries. Okay, Aries. The 7 of Cups. The King of Wands. There you are, sitting on top of this sadness. You are getting this new vitality here is the Ace of Wands in the Rider White deck. And it's like you are receiving this wand from Spirit, who is going to put you on that king throne here. Wow. And now we also have the King of Pentacles, Aries. You are going through this week and you are like, I feel like you're like shape shifting, kind of, not like physically, but like internally. I feel as though you go from being extremely confused in your heart chakra to feeling the feelings of hurt and despair and pain, but like you're coming out, like sitting on top of it, like it cannot phase you. And I feel as though when you receive the new vitality from Spirit towards week's end, you will turn into more of the King of Pentacles vibe, which means that you're going to be like super grounded. You're not going to feel as though like everything is about to end and the world is dooming. Because I feel like as though like you might have felt that way a little bit with the heart and the sadness and isolation, because that would be the Three of Swords. So feeling that directly in your heart chakra is honestly not the best feeling. But Aries, it looks like you come into your power quick. Like, you do not let it get to you. It confuses you a little bit, but you bounce back quickly, quickly, quickly. Especially that's why you have that ace up there. That shows the quickness of it, especially since it's the Ace of Wands. That shows the fire, the passion, the fast of it. So let's see what else is coming out here for my Aries. Let me get more light around here. I feel like it looks dark. Okay, what else do we have here for my Aries? My Aries for April 22nd to April 26th. This hurt could have also been like in the past, and this week you are coming into the realization that you are this king energy because you're receiving some message from Spirit somehow. So let's see here for my Aries. For my Aries for the week of April 22nd to the 26th. Okay, Aries. Let's see what we have coming out. So underneath this Seven of Cups, we have the Four of Wands. Yes, you felt this confusion. You felt this like feeling of like, I just feel like you just had a moment of like, I don't know what to do. And I feel as though you kind of took a break and you just contemplated and like really just took a second to breathe and just really get your emotions back in check. Maybe it wasn't like super emotional either. It could have just been like, you're just like, well, why am I feeling this way all of a sudden? But it is for a higher reason here. And it's straight from Spirit and straight from Source, because I feel as though they're trying to push you into a new way of being, Aries. So let's see what is coming out under this King of Wands. We have the Fool. Absolutely. You are there. Spirit is giving you this wand. That new vitality they gave to you, the King of Wands. And in turn has turned you into a new beginning. You yourself into a new beginning. We can be new beginnings. That's why I feel as though like somehow, that's why I said earlier that I feel like you're shape-shifting, but you're just transforming. And hence why you are now embarking on a new journey, which would explain why I felt the shape-shift vibe in the beginning. So underneath this King of Pentacles, we have the Three of Cups. There you go. There's your happiness. There's your celebration. There's your feeling of just bliss. And I feel as though, Aries, whatever you have been feeling lately in your heart, you are going to sit in the power of this energy amazingly. It might kind of like shake you a little bit because you're like, okay, wait, why did I feel so strongly that way? And now I feel like total opposite. Like it's just like within a flip of a switch, weird. But it's just because of this new vitality. Spirit came down and they're like, Aries, this is for you. And it has now brought you into embarking on this new path of like standing in your power more. And I feel like you're also going to be more grounded in reality too. Especially we have a new moon in Taurus today that is with the 4/4 portal as well. So it's like super grounding energy. A lot of messages from Spirit are coming through, and they have been coming through within the past week just because of it leading up to this energy of this moon. But I really feel like my Aries are turning into a whole new person. And I feel as though with the moon, you are going to get some type of download from universe. Like I feel as though you are going to get something that like he's holding this wand. So it just looks so great. It just looks like you went from super heartache. I literally see Spirit coming down like, here, take this. You grab it. You're on the new journey. and you find a way to ground yourself, Aries, and it brings you happiness, and it brings you celebration. It brings you, like, you might now want to share the love after you get into this King of Pentacles vibe, but you progress this week and you just get stronger and stronger and stronger, Aries. So it looks amazing. Let's see what's coming out for my next fire sign, which would be my Leos. Okay, Leo. What's coming out for my Leos? Hello, my Leos. And let's see what's coming out for my Leos for April 22nd to April 26th. April 27th, that's fine. I totally did it wrong. Hello, Leos. And we're going to be doing your weekly now. So let's see what's coming out for my Leos for April 22nd to April 26th. If I do feel guided to read it in a love way, I will. But if I don't, then I'm going to keep it general. And let's see what's coming out for my Leos. Okay, Leo, our first card out, we have release. Okay, my Leos are going through a transformation this week. We have well-deserved reward. And we have darkest fears. Okay, Leo, you are releasing a lot of anxiety, a lot of anxiousness. You are releasing... You are going to sit in your power over your thoughts. By the end of this week, Leo, you will feel a different way. A lot of people are going through transformations, I feel like. It's very interesting. With the, you have here, release is death. This is the 9 of Pentacles, and darkest fears here is the 9 of Swords. So I do feel as though, especially with these 2 9s coming out, you will overpower over this 9. You see how it's kind of like, and you see with the moons over his head, Leo, this moon that's happening is going to be giving you some type of power over yourself. I feel like it's going to make you feel like you are the worthy being that you truly are at the core. I just feel like you're really getting past a lot of anxious, a lot of self-inflicted thoughts that may not be necessarily real. When darkest fears comes out, it's self-inflicted. So you may be overthinking because of your own doubts and fears of past experiences, not more or less what's happening right in front of you, even though someone could be well causing you this way. But I do see you're going to be releasing it this week, so looks good. Let's see what's coming out for my Leos for the week of April 22nd to April 26th. Okay. For my Leos. And my first card out, we have strength. There you are, Leo. Right underneath that, release. Yes, you are transforming. I felt that right away. Underneath well-deserved reward, there's the Hanged Man. There's that change in perception that you will end up getting. Your perception is going to change. Your feeling of worthiness is going to be coming. You see his head is light up. This universe is waiting for his change of perception. And it's coming. Underneath this darkest fears, we have the Ace of Wands. Yes. There you go. There's that way out. There's that way out of those thoughts. Spirit is coming through. Wow. It's crazy because Aries got the Ace of Wands too, but they just got it in that reading. Up there, the first couple cards. What I see here, Leo, you are going through a transformation and you are like changing your mindset. I feel like you're kind of going to be believing more in spirituality than you did before. I feel like you're, you know, the spiritual mantra, like it's within you, it's within you. Like sometimes that's hard to hear because sometimes you're like, what do you mean it's within me? Where do I find it? And I feel as though Leos this week, you are going to be like, aha, that's how I find it. because this is about you. It's strictly not about anybody else. I feel this very strongly. I mean, you could be in a relationship and anything like that, but this is more or less about you finding your worth. And you are finding it, Leo. You find it by the end of this week. This new moon is going to be giving you some new insight. You are receiving something new. And I feel like it's going to transform your life, and it will also transform the way that you think. Your mindset, which you need here as well. So let's see. What else is coming out for my Leos for the week April 22nd and April 20 to April 26th. For my Leos, for my Leos, for my Leos. Spirit is making the cards fly, okay. For my Leos, what do they need to know? For April 22nd to April 26th. All right, Leo. So underneath strength, we have the 8 of Cups. Release that emotional detachment, Leo. Release. You are you are letting go of an old way of thinking, and I feel as though you're letting go to as an old way of feeling, but that comes once you change your mindset. Once you get through this Hangman energy, you do have an 8 of Cups moment, because since your mind isn't as wrapped around it, then your emotions don't follow. Your mind is the one that kind of is the orchestrator here. So I feel as though once this happens, and it's going to happen soon, I feel like it's happening with the moon, because especially since it's your first batch out, I feel like this will happen within the first couple days of this week, maybe even today, tomorrow. So I just really, really feel as though like once you get through this energy, you're just going to find a new way of thinking, of feeling. I just feel as though you're just going to be like looking at life differently, looking at your connections differently, looking at people differently. It doesn't mean that you're like walking away from somebody or like letting somebody go. You can detach emotionally and still be in a relationship with somebody. But it's just, you don't let their actions and what they do and what they say and all of that stuff get to you as strongly as before. The 8 of Cups is a very interesting card because it scares some people because they think that someone's walking away from them, and that's not always the case. So what else is coming out for my Leos here? For my Leos, I was guided to shuffle again for these past 2, so let's see. Seems like Leo needed a message. Yeah, that's why. Underneath is Hangman, the King of Wands. There you are, Leo. You will be sitting in your power after you change this mindset. And underneath the Ace of Wands, we have the 8 of Wands. Oh my gosh. So you are going to be receiving direct insight from Spirit extremely fast. Others of you could be having a very passionate conversation this week that gives you a new insight on a relationship with somebody. So I'm going to read it a little bit differently now just because of what we have here. For some of you, this is strictly between you and Spirit and changing your mindset. And it is standing in your power on this King of Wands. And I just feel as though, like, with these 2, oh man, you might be feeling flooded with messages from Spirit that it might be a little bit too much, especially with the 8 of Wands. Like, everything might be coming in for you a little bit too fast. But nonetheless, you will be receiving the insight that you so very much need. For others of you, this could also be a conversation that I feel as though have long overdue to have with somebody. It could be a romantic interest. It could be anybody. It could be a friend. It could be a family member. I just feel like there's a conversation that is long overdue here, and it's coming, especially with this 8 of Wands to this Ace of Wands. And you are a Leo, but I do have the King of Wands here as well. So, and I also have release, which would be death. So it could more or less be a Scorpio, another fire sign. A lot of fire energy in here which makes me believe it could strongly be direct messages from spirit that are overwhelming you. But for some of you, there will be a conversation you have this week that you receive an Ace of Wands from, a new insight, a new passionate something. You might be receiving a passionate offer from another person, but in a spiritual aspect, this is like a new insight, a new message from spirit. But I have to read it how it's read. So for some of you, yes, there is going to be a conversation here with somebody that you receive a passionate offer from out of this conversation. So keep that in mind, because I do need to tell all of the messages that are coming out. But I feel as though if this is linked to a conversation that that you are having, whomever it is with, I feel as though you've freed yourself from, but you've also have extreme anxiety and overthinking over them as well. Or you did in the past, because I do see this being transformed. But it looks very, very, very strong for you Leos for this week. So I would be super interested to see how that plays out. So have a good week, Leos, and I'll see you next week for your weekly reading going into May. And last but not least, hello, my Sagittariuses. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick out 3 cards first for my Sagittariuses, and we're going to see what is your main themes for this week, and then we'll go on with my other decks so we can get more in depth and more in detail and see what's going on. So for my Sagittariuses, Spirit, can I please have their messages for this week? We also have a new moon happening today in Taurus. Depending on when you watch this, it will be on 4/22/2020. And it's very, 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 very strong energy. So manifest away, my friends. All right, so for my Sagittariuses, what do we have here? What do we have for my Sagittariuses? All right, Sagittarius. We have listen. There you go, High Priestess. My Sagittariuses are paying attention to their intuition this week. Ooh, it's a spiritual week for my Sagittariuses. We have here Teach. Right after that High Priestess, the Hierophant. So we have the feminine energy and the the feminine energy and the male energy of Spirit in the tarot. Holy, oh, whoa, oh my gosh. And then we have the third eye chakra. Okay, pause. Hold on. Because now I'm like, woo. Okay, Sagittarius. You're having an extremely spiritual week. Extreme. Like when I say extreme, like your third eye is going to be buzzing. It's going to be on fire. It's going to be even flooded with information. And I felt that with Leo too. So maybe it's just my fire signs are being super open to spirit this week or something. But wow, you have every single spiritual card that could be in this deck. I mean, they're all spiritual, obviously, because there's the tarot deck. But the High Priestess, the Hierophant, and the third eye chakra, like, come on now. Doesn't get any more spiritual than that. If it would have been any other chakra, I would have been like, okay. But the third eye, come on. Okay, right next to my little purple flower. Okay. Let me stop, Sagittariuses. You guys got me a little excited. Okay, so what else is coming out for my Sagittariuses? Basically, your intuition is on point. But we're going to see what else this means, because you might actually be getting whole new insight from Spirit as well. But I do see here that you are going through this might be like a very, very spiritual awakening week for some of you as well. Let's see what's coming out underneath these cards so we can have more of a story. For my Sagittariuses, thank you, Spirit. Okay. Oh. Yep, they're here. Okay, underneath listen, we have the 7 of Wands. Underneath teach, we have the 5 of Pentacles. And underneath the third eye chakra, there we go, that hanged man. There goes that change of perception. There goes that third eye chakra switch. Okay, so it looks to me as though you've been extremely defensive towards your intuition. So you either have not been listening to it or you have just been blatantly ignoring it somehow. Um, but I feel as though you also could be feeling left out by spirit as well. Like maybe the messages you're getting in your intuition are just not the messages you want to hear. But I do feel as though you will be going through some sort of change of perception here, Sagittarius, with your third eye. Like this is severely spiritually based. And I feel as though you're just ignoring your intuition. Like I'm just super getting that like really strongly. Like it's like you know things but you're still feeling a way about them being in your, like it's just weird. It's like you're getting all these insights but you're fighting them off. That's exactly what he's doing. You're fighting off all of this intuition and all these psychic downloads that you are getting, and you're leaving spirit out in the cold. You are doing it. For some of you, I've really, like, this is a super specific message. Like, your intuition is being completely ignored. But not for long. Because I see here, with my hanged man right there underneath that third eye, that's big energy. That's a change of perception in that third eye chakra. And that's what you need. Absolutely. You need to stop being defensive towards spirit. You are legitimately leaving spirit out in the cold with this Five of Pentacles. Spirit is giving you all of the insight and you're just treating them like this. So Sagittarius, you are going to probably be going through a little bit of a third eye transformation by the end of the week. So let's see what else is coming out underneath here. For my Sagittariuses. What's coming out here for my Sagittariuses? What's coming out here for my Sagittariuses for the week of April 22nd to April 26th? Thank you, Spirit. Whoa. Okay. Okay, so underneath this Seven of Wands, we have Justice. Yup. The scales will balance. Underneath the underneath the Five of Pentacles, we have the Nine of Wands, which is you blocking out your intuition. Once again, leaving spirit out in the cold, not letting the messages in. But with Justice here underneath this Seven of Wands, all will deemed right who needs to be justified. So spirit has been treated unfair by you, and I feel as though Sagittarius, you guys are going to get a certain insight by spirit that is going to like prove to you in the biggest way of how strong. Yup, because underneath this Hanged Man we have the Ten of Wands. There you go. You're putting down this burden. The 9 to the 10. First you're blocking it out, and then you put down the burden. You're like, you know what? I'm not blocking it out anymore. What do you have to tell me, Spirit? And I feel as though by week's end, this Hanged Man will be changed of perception once you put down the burden of avoiding your intuition. And I do feel as though with this here, your insight is going to start flying in. So once you do make this Hangman switch by week's end, because I do see it here with your third eye chakra, and especially with this Ten of Wands, I feel as though you're going to just have a huge understanding. Like everything will start to make sense. Every single thing. And Spirit has been trying to relay this message to you, but karma has to step in and be like, all right, my Saggies aren't listening. We got to show them a new way. We need to find a way to balance the scales. Balance is needed between you and Spirit here, my Sagittariuses. And it's going to get balanced, and I feel as though you're just going to ascend to like a new level because of this Hanged Man perception change that you're going to go through. And you're just going to be letting Spirit in a new way. And when you do this, you might feel flooded. Like I just feel of like for my fire signs in general, I feel like you guys are being flooded with messages or will be flooded with messages from spirit either after this new moon happens or maybe you have been feeling this before. But I've never seen spirit try to get in contact so heavily. And maybe it's because I'm doing this on the new moon day since I chose to do these on 422, but wow. So, Sagittarius, you're in for a whole new third eye chakra. So it looks good. Just, I would stop defending yourself, you know, like just put the burden down and accept. And spirit is going to show you why that was needed. So thank you, my fire signs. I hope you guys have a great week, and it's super spiritual, so I'm super excited to see all the downloads you guys will get, and I look forward to talking with you all. And you can follow me on Instagram. It's the same name as this name, it's just one word, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye.